In his heart, President Trump is a businessman. He doesn't understand alliances or rivalries, but he does understand deals. If you give him something, you should get something in return. Not 10 years from now, not 5 years from now. You should get something today. And that's President Trump's plan for Ukraine. He is willing to supply aid to Kiev, but he wants something in return. He wants Ukraine's rare earth minerals.
We're telling Ukraine they have very valuable rare earth. We want what we put up to go in terms of a guarantee. We want a guarantee. We're handing them money hand over fist. We're giving them equipment. European is not keeping up with us. They should equalize. They should really be paying much more than us, but let's say equal to us, and they're billions and billions of dollars below. So we're looking to do a deal with Ukraine where they're going to secure what we're giving them with their rare earth and other things.
You think you've heard it all, but Trump still manages to surprise you. He's talking about rare earth minerals like lithium, uranium, and titanium. These are key to making new age technologies. For example, batteries and chips. And how much does Ukraine have? There is no official estimate from Kiev, but some reports say several $1 trillion, which is why Trump is asking for it. His logic is pretty simple. If the US is arming Ukraine, there should be an upside, some tangible benefit for the Americans. And what better than rare earth minerals? But where did Trump get this idea from? Reports say Zelensky himself. That's right. These minerals were part of Zelensky's so-called victory plan. He wants the United States and American companies to mine them. In return, Ukraine would get military aid. It was a strategy tailor-made for Donald Trump to keep him interested in the war. So don't think that Trump is driving a hard bargain here or he's plundering Ukraine's wealth. He's simply taking up Zelensky's own offer. The question is, how will this play out? In Ukraine, the officials are preparing deals and joint agreements. They are keen to take up Trump's deal. Again, the logic is quite simple. If the US is invested in Ukraine, they will have a reason to defend it, an actual reason, not made-up ones like NATO or democracy. But others are not too happy, including Russia and the European Union. The Kremlin says Ukraine is buying aid from the US.
In other words, it is a proposal to buy aid, meaning not to continue to provide it free of charge or otherwise, but to provide it on a commercial basis. It is better, of course, not to provide aid at all, thus contributing to the end of this conflict.
Clearly, this is unacceptable for Moscow. Throwing underfed North Koreans into the front line is okay, but buying foreign aid, well, that's a red line. Even Europe is not impressed. Germany's Olaf Scholz is leading the criticism. Let me quote from what he said. We should use this country's resources to finance everything that will be needed after the war. It would be very selfish and egocentric to use the money now to finance defense support. Now, Olaf Scholz is usually diplomatic. So these words coming from him are tough. But let's focus on Trump's deal. How feasible is this barter? Right at the outset, there is an obvious problem. Russia controls 20% of Ukrainian land. What if some of the rare earth minerals are in those parts? You simply won't be able to access them. That is one problem. Also, there's a war to be fought. Can you extract minerals in the middle of the fighting? Can Ukraine spare the manpower? If not, will America send its own? And if so, will they be attacked by Russia? These are all very risky scenarios. You cannot find solutions for them overnight. Yes, you can strike a deal or sign an agreement ASAP. But the actual mining will be harder. And Olaf Scholz has got a point. Ukraine needs these resources to rebuild their country. Experts say it could cost $486 billion. That's 3 times Ukraine's GDP. So Zelensky should ask himself an important question. Is he rushing into this agreement? Is it worth signing away national treasures? As for Trump, this is a clear template. His message to allies and partners is the same. If you want my support, pay for it. This is transactional diplomacy at its Trumpian best. We're calling the show Vantage. We hope you like what we've put together for you. Touted as the minimum defense from that video. India's neighbors were the first to send This special edition of Vantage, live from the White House throughout this week. Yes, Hindu Mandir we're on our way to Tel Aviv. Pretty measure, but it's also the perfect way to drive.
I don't think that
Prime Minister of Bhutan, Sherin Tagwe. Welcome to
60% of the world's
office. Prime Minister Modi did the iron.
We were actually
How are you doing? How do you like? It's been 1 year since that meeting. Iron bars separate you from the outside. Out the vote effort. Trump had, it says, and at $4.3 trillion. 4.3 300 billion by 2030. That's what we need to tackle climate change.